training for content creation like there is for interior design.
Right.
So I'm kind of going with the flow. When I started this content creation journey, I did not even dream that I would be doing what I'm doing now. Really see India become cutting edge when it comes to design. Interior designers need to stop looking at Europe and other parts of the world for design. You need to look inward.
Thank you, Riddhi, for joining us with you today. We're glad to have you
Thank
on
you
our
so much for
platform.
having me. Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So, a brief introduction about you I would like to give to the people. Ridhi Khosla Jalan is an interior designer whose journey has been serendipitous. She grew up in Singapore and LA and pursued a degree in finance and marketing from USC. When she was pregnant with her second child, she decided to go back to the college and get a degree in interior design. After which she opened a store called Little Nest. The store focused on children's furniture and she designed children's room. And then in 2023, decided to share all her knowledge about the design on Instagram and within 9 months had more than 400K followers. That turned her life upside down. So thank you, Riddhi, for joining us today, and it's a pleasure to have you here. So without a further ado, I would right jump into the conversation that I was waiting to have with you. So what influenced you, like having your academic background that includes degrees in finance, marketing, and later you opted for a degree in the field of interior designing. What inspired
Yeah.
you to become an interior designer?
So I think while I was getting a degree in finance and marketing, I would sit outside the architecture school in my college and be like, should I switch? Should I not switch? But unfortunately, at that age, I didn't have the courage or the gumption to switch from finance and marketing to architecture. And I kind of went with the flow and got my degree and worked a bit in finance and marketing. But I found myself constantly looking at Pinterest videos. And even at work, I would keep looking out of the window thinking about designs. So when I was pregnant with my second child, I decided, let me go back to college and get another degree and really pursue what I'm so passionate about, because every Monday morning should be something you look forward to. And I think the minute I made that switch is when every day is Monday for me. And I'm really, really happy I did that.
Oh, wow, that's great. So
Yeah.
you always had that interest towards designing, is what I would say.
I did. And my parents actually are entrepreneurs. They're not in the design field, but they love construction. So I've grown up, they would buy a home, which would look great, but they'd break it down and redo it. That was their passion. That's what they love doing. So I've grown up in renovated renovation sites, I think. Sites my whole life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So transitioning into content creation in 23 was a bold move. So what led you to content creation and influencing the wider audience about the aspects of interior design and its upcoming trends?
So, while I do my projects, I always found it hard to understand what is the latest material or the latest product, because you're in your bubble, right? You go to site, you meet your clients, you meet your contractors, you have your regular vendors. Once in a while, you get new samples sent to office. But beyond that, if I'm in Bombay, I don't know what's happening in Hyderabad. Or if I'm in Delhi, I don't know what's happening in Chennai. So I always wanted to know what is the latest material or product out there to make my project better. So I said, if I'm struggling with this, then I'm sure other people are too. So I decided to just share whatever knowledge I have on Instagram and see where it goes. And it wasn't with the intention of becoming a content creator, it was just to share whatever I know and see if it helps other people. Unexpected is the right word, because I thought by end of the year, if I have 10,000 followers, that's great. It's respectable. But the minute the number started increasing so rapidly, I was like, wait a minute, there's something is going on. I'm not understanding it, but let me see if I want to do this more seriously. So I'm enjoying the ride now. Let's see what the future holds. But it's fun. It's very different. There's no training for content creation like there is for interior design.
Right.
So I'm kind of going with the flow.
So, you built a strong, I would say, followers or community on social media platform. So, how do you maintain the authenticity and the engagement of the community who looks up to you?
I think authenticity has never really been a problem because the intention of this was never to make it a business or a profession. It was always, the foundation was always just to share knowledge. It wasn't to be known in an industry or to be known as a thought leader. It was just, let me just share. So the foundation is always different. I don't use filters. Even what you see is what you see. I have bad skin. It is, everyone goes through this. Um, in terms of what products I'm recommending, I do full research and I try to showcase the best of whatever I can. I may make mistakes, but the intention is always to show you what I think is genuinely good or give advice that I would genuinely follow myself. So I think if you're just true to design and you're true to the purpose of it, that authenticity comes across. So I think that's just been a very natural thing. It wasn't something I thought about.
Right. So we see nowadays, we see like, there's been often the interiors have started becoming more about aesthetics rather than functionality. And being in the forefront, what do you think has changed? And with the same question, I would say that what can be brought for designers to be more contextual and functional?
Well, everyone wants a beautiful house. So that's naturally going to happen. And now that you have social media where people take pictures and the house gets put on social media, the emphasis is more on what it looks like than how it functions. But having said that, you do have a lot of beautiful things that function well as well. I think people should look at multifunctional things that look great and serve a purpose. And I think you get ample options now. It's not one or the other. And if something just looks good but doesn't work, my advice to everyone is don't put it. You have to live in this house. So you have to use it. It's not just for that picture, the photograph, or to get that one compliment when a friend comes to the house. So I do think I think people are smart about it. I think people make good decisions because they realize if you're spending money, it needs to be functional as well. So I don't think that's too much of a concern.
Right. So, just a wrap question. If given a choice, would you prefer a earthy color tone or a vibrant color tones as per your choice in your home?
Depends on the day. Because I see so many things and I like so many different things. But the honest answer is it depends on the house and the client. It's not really about my preference, but it's about what fits the space better. So I can't say I like one or the other. Some homes ask for that early kind of tone, some ask for that vibrant color. So I think a designer skill set should be able to cater to both.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a smart question. Like, a smart answer from you. I really liked your answer. So,
Thank you.
with the rise of smart home technology, how do you see it shaping the future of interior design, and what opportunity does it present for creating more functional and efficient living environment?
I think everything's become smart. From your kettle to your table that can go up and down to every single thing in your home has become smart. So, as a designer, you have to keep that in mind. And in fact, I think it's an opportunity for us because when you're getting smart, you're also getting the opportunity of conserving electricity because now you can switch off the lights automatically when you're not there. You can have time settings in place, or you even get those automated taps, like how you go to an airport and you just have a hand sensor and the water comes on. You have that for homes now that work really well. So you're actually conserving water as well. So I think if people are up to date with what technology is available for the house, you can use it as an opportunity of conservation, of making sure there's no extra wastage, of reducing your electricity bills. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there of making your life more efficient without causing harm to the earth.
Right. So, a lot of things nowadays, technology keeps developing very quickly. Like, you see a lot
Yeah.
of change happening, and it's not even like, big span of time. It's just something new is coming every single day. So how do you keep yourself updated to all the new technologies or all the new changes that is coming along?
That's my job. Then I find out about it and I tell everyone else about it.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
Right.
Um, but the how do I get the information? Honestly, there's no one source. I'm either stalking a lot of people on Instagram. I talk to a lot of people in the community. A lot of brands reach out to me. I do have a research team in my team. So, research analysts, if you want to call them. So it's a combination. It's a combination of things. There's no one source.
Right.
That's how I stay up to date. And then hopefully everyone else stays up to date.
Yeah, right. So, like, what are some of the emerging trends in interior design that you are particularly excited about, and how do you foresee these trends influencing the way we design living and workspace in near future?
Trends that influence the way we live. I think COVID has taught us a lot. In terms of having your home as a very multifunctional space, because now you want a house that has an office, you have a house that works as a gym. People are a lot more involved in the kitchen than they were before. They realize they want an open kitchen because they want to interact with the family members while cooking. So I think a lot of people have realized things about themselves and want their house to adapt to that. So you have to build multifunctional homes. Each space needs to serve not one, but at least two purposes. So when you are designing, you have to have maybe sliding, hiding walls that kind of come and go. You need to have tables that can have hidden seating below. There's so many ways of, or you have those flap down study tables. So, in your bedroom, if you want to turn into a home office, you flap down this tabletop. So there's so many ways of making this happen. But I really see that as a trend that people need to now design towards having multifunctional spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
So, again, a rapid question, which is that interior style that resonates with you? Is it the traditional style or a luxury style?
Luxury. It is always luxury. I've just been drawn to it. So I'm if given a choice, it would be luxury.
Right. So, looking
Yeah.
ahead at your aspirations and goal for the future of Ridhi Khosla Jalan Studio, both in terms of design projects and content creation. So, like, what are your aspirations for both of your design studio and your content creation?
Big question. Um, you know what I've learned? I've learned in infinite possibilities because when I started this content creation journey, I did not even dream that I would be doing what I'm doing now. So it's unfair for me to even say in the next 5 years what I want to do with this because I just don't know. There's so much unknown. I do want it to become bigger. I do want to see growth. I want to meet people I've never met before, have experiences I've never experienced, and really see India become cutting edge when it comes to design. I feel we have a lot of potential, a lot of scope. We're not there yet, but I see a lot of momentum going towards that. So I want to be part of that movement. I think
Right.
that's where I see myself.
Wow. So, how do you
Yeah.
think one can, like you talked about, like, India has a lot of scope of growth in design. So, how do you think one can put India at the global level in the field of interior design? And how can we achieve that?
I think there's been a sudden boom in the last 2, 3 years where you have a lot of up and coming product designers doing very interesting things. So, number one, buy from Indian brands. That's the most important thing. Interior designers need to stop looking at Europe and other parts of the world for design. You need to look inward. Support smaller brands that are doing really good work because ultimately it does come down to funding and money. So the only way we can build our own design is that if we put our own money into it. Have a lot of sponsorship opportunities. Companies can actually sponsor a lot of these brands that are coming up. So I think it does come down to money. People need to start investing in our developers, a lot of R&D, and I think we'll get there. But I think we will get there. It's not that we won't. We will get there. I'm just hoping we get there quick and we don't lose the momentum that we have.
Right. And like you said, like
Yes.
how can one retain the Indian craftsmanship and stop buying from the mass product mass
Mm.
manufacturing products and from the West, or just how do we shift that people's mindset of not
This
buying from the West and retain the Indian craftsmanship?
this is a question that is very close to my heart, because I want to preserve as much traditional Indian craft as possible. And in our generation, I'm seeing it go extinct. There's certain crafts like Marori, where there are only two craftsmen left in India. So we have to start buying those products. But I understand that some of them have a very traditional Indian look that not everyone gravitates towards. So, what we need to do is modernize the craft. Have the same craft, but the design or the application of it needs to modernize. Where people would maybe use a traditional craft on a vase, right? You have a lot of vases or plates. Maybe put that on a bar, put that in
Right.
someone's house. So it suddenly looks very glamorous. And you're providing jobs, you're providing funding to these companies. And the generations after, these craftsmen are seeing, oh, there is money coming in. There's a lot of respect in this job. So I will learn from my father or my mother and I will continue this profession. That is the most important thing. So I think we need to see how we can modernize the craft and give respect to our craftsmen, which is lacking because when they don't get jobs, they become laborers,
True.
which is so sad because they need to make money. They don't have savings. But um, this has to happen by interior designers. We have to see that gap and say, how can we use a traditional craft and modernize it and put it in our home? So that's something I try to do on my platform by promoting traditional craft, and hopefully people get inspired and call up these craftsmen and say, hey, come to my site and help build this.
Right.
So let's
Yeah,
try to revive and preserve as much as we can.
I totally agree with you. We need to do
Yeah.
start putting our craftsmen on the first base. We need to do that.
Yeah, more than craftsmen sitting in Europe, it has to be craftsmen sitting in India.
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a great talk with you, Riddhi. We had some great
Thank you.
insight from this talk.
Thank
I
you so
hope it
much.
will help a lot of people, and it will bring a lot of the change that you want, that India to be at the global level. I hope it comes soon.
It will happen. I believe
Yes,
it. It
yes.
will happen.
Yes.
Okay. Super. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. And enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. See
Bye.
you. Bye.